Hi everyone, my name is Shauna, in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. I know my outfit today looks like janky, but this is just so comfortable. And I got it at the warehouse sale where they were selling all of the stuff from the show Grimm and what was used on the show. So this was used in the show Grimm and it's comfortable. So I don't care if I look like a dork while I wear it. It's just comfy and it has such special meaning to me. Anyways, in today's video, I want to do the birth year book tag. This tag was created by Criminali and I will have his YouTube channel linked down in the description below. So basically these are questions revolving around your birth year and important years in your life. So to get my birth year out of the way, I am currently 21. I was born in 2000. My birthday is in November. The first question for this tag is, have you read any books published in the year you were born? Yes, I have. I've read quite a few. I feel like most of them I read back in elementary school though, but there is quite a few good books that were published in 2000 that I've read. If so, what's your favorite and why? My favorite book from my birth year is my favorite book of all time, so I don't think this is going to surprise anyone, but my favorite book from my birth year is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the fourth book in the Harry Potter series, obviously. I just love this book so much. I love getting to see the other wizarding schools. I love different tasks and trials in books, so there's obviously the Trials of Tournament where there's the 3 different tasks, and I always find that really interesting. Also, obviously I'm covering up the author's name here, but I really want an Etsy shop or an artist to create a version of the covers without the author's name on it. That would be really awesome. This is also a new edition that I just got. Isn't it pretty? I know that this is not a new edition, it didn't come out in the past several years. I just picked up a copy of it recently. And I want to show you something cool about this edition. It has a map. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All Harry Potter books should come with a map because that's awesome. The next question is, do you have any other favorites from the year I was born? And yeah, I do. As I said, a lot of good books came out the year I was born. Most of these are ones that I read in school, so keep that in mind. These are all going to be pretty much children's books. My dog's barking. I just looked outside and there's just a car driving by, so apparently a car is a cause for barking today. I think my dog's done barking. So anyways, this question that I'll be answering is talking about other favorite books that came out during my birth year. So the first Geronimo Stilton book came out on my birth year and I was obsessed with Geronimo Stilton when I was in school. I read through a ton of them. And I in particular remember reading through the first one. The first one was called The Lost Treasure of the Emerald Eye. And in case you don't know, Geronimo Stilton is this kid series where there's this mouse going on an adventure. And the thing that I always liked about Geronimo Stilton is that it isn't specifically graphic novels, but the text wasn't just uniform text, you know? There was fun words and different colors, different font sizes, different font styles. I was really obsessed with that when I was younger. Another book that came out in my birth year was Because of Winn-Dixie, obviously a classic that everyone loves. Whenever I see any dog that looks Scruffy in my neighborhood that's brownish blondish color, I'm always look, a Winn-Dixie dog. And then the third book in the series of Unfortunate Events series came out on my birth year, and that was The Wide Window. I've been considering finishing the series of Unfortunate Events recently. I lost steam when I was reading the series when I was in elementary school. However, I really like the Netflix original series of the show, so I think that maybe I'll finish that series at some point in the future. Obviously about the 3 kids who become orphans and there's a secret society. There's this guy trying to get their family inheritance money. It's a really good series. And finally, there was 3 books published in the Circuit of Freaks series in 2000, and I really enjoy the Circuit of Freaks series. I need to read book 8 next, so it's a really long series, but the books are short and they're generally more kid books, but I didn't start them until last year and I still enjoy them even though I'm an adult, so keep that in mind. If you like vampires and horror, but not super scary horror, then I think you will like Circuit of Freak. And then it also says, if you haven't read any birth year books, which one do you pledge to read in the next 6 months and why have you chosen it? I'm not going to pledge to read any because I have read some for my birth year and because I already have so many other challenges that I'm doing for myself, my reading goals that I set at the start of the year, and I do reading challenges in different Goodreads groups, so I'm not going to set another obligation of a book that I have to read right now. So that whole thing was question number 1, so now we're going on to question number 2, which says, have you read any books published in the year you turned 18? Yes, that was 2018. I have read so many books published in the year that I turned 18. 2018 was a great year for book releases. And it was also the year that I got my reading mojo back. I was in a big reading slump in 2017, but when it came to 2018, the year that I turned 18, I got really back into reading. The next part to question number 2 is, if so, what's your favorite book published in the year you turned 18 and why? It's hard because I really like so many books from when I turned 18, but whenever there's a new Wizarding World release, in that year. That's always my favorite, and there was a new release in 2018, and that was the Crimes of Grindelwald screenplay. I love the screenplay so much. I feel like they're so fun and special. They're beautiful additions for your collection, and this one in particular like adds some little extra details, and you can see where little things would change for the film. The first one was just simply the screenplay, but this one is like the screenplay before final edits were made, so this is a little different from the movie. So I thought that was really fun and special, especially since I saw Crimes of Grindelwald 10.5 times in theaters. I want to say half times because I left the theater early because I wasn't feeling well, so I really had the movie like memorized by the time that I read the screenplay, so that was really fun. Question number 3 says, of the last 10 books you read, how many were published before you were born? 0. None were published before I was born. I have a hard time reading books that were published before I was born because a lot of times I find that there is like sexist and racist undertones to books published in the 1900s. I mean, there's some exceptions obviously, and there is some books that I've enjoyed that have come out before I was born, but generally I try to stick with books that came out after I was born because I find that they're much more like open-minded in their depictions of females and different marginalized communities. And the follow-up to this would just be, what were they? Did you prefer them to the newer books? And as I've clearly said, I generally prefer newer books better because there's better representation of females, marginalized communities. And also I find that if you go too far back in the 1900s and even into the 1800s, the writing style gets very confusing and it turns into sort of like Old English, and I really don't vibe with that. I really like to understand what I'm reading. I mean, I like to be challenged, but I like to understand it, you know? Question number 4, what's your favorite movie from your birth year and why? So I pulled up all the popular movies from my birth year to try and look at it because I don't really pay attention to the years that movies were released. And the one out of all of them that I looked at that I enjoyed the most was X-Men, the first X-Men movie. I really enjoyed the X-Men movies. I mean, I tried to like rewatch them last year, I want to say, and I was like, ooh, the CGI is not so great. But I mean, it came out in 2000, so it was good for 2000. I just really enjoy the X-Men movies. I loved all of the characters. I love the plots, and the first X-Men movie in particular was amazing. I love Rogue, and with the newer X-Men that came out within the past like 10 years, 5 years, I enjoyed those ones, but they didn't have Rogue, and so I was sad about that. Do I need to explain more about why I enjoyed the X-Men? Like, it's the X-Men. They have awesome powers, there's great characters, interesting storylines. Like, I feel like it's perfection. And I'm really excited to see the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe hopefully soon. Question number 5, what's your favorite movie from the year you turned 18 and why? So Crimes of Grindelwald, going back to that, the screenplay came out the year that the movie came out, and Crimes of Grindelwald came out the same month that I turned 18, so I was just like going to the theater back to back to back to back to watch it over and over again. I love Crimes of Grindelwald so much. I liked it better than the first movie, which I know is an unpopular opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some plot holes in Crimes of Grindelwald, but it is so enjoyable, a spectacular soundtrack. You get to meet 2 of my favorite fictional characters of all time, Theseus Scamander and Leta Lestrange. I'm so obsessed with Crimes of Grindelwald, in case you can't tell, and I'm so excited for Secrets of Dumbledore to come out very soon. So that was all for this tag. I find this to be a really interesting tag because on BookTube we have such a wide range of different ages. We have people like me who is fairly young, there's people younger than me on BookTube, there's people way older than me on BookTube, and it's interesting to hear about when people are born and the different types of books and movies that came out when people are born. So if you want to join in on the fun of this tag, I will have all the questions down in the description below so that you can find them, and feel free to do this tag. I don't really tag people in my tag videos because I don't get tagged in tag videos that often, so feel free to join in, consider yourself tagged if you would like to do this tag. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. All of my other social media will of course be linked down in the description below, including my Bookstagram, BookTok, Goodreads, all of that jazz. I upload 2 videos a week, so my next video is coming out this Friday. I hope all of you stick around to watch that one, and until next time, goodbye!